Hi Stampin' friends, tonight we're going to use the Peaceful Place Designer Series paper. It is a lot of gray and black and white. There are a lot of different things that you can do with them, and I also wanted to tell you that there are some that you can use with the pretty paper pumpkin kit, and you can kind of do sort of the same thing with your paper. So like this is something that comes with the paper pumpkin kit, and this is the green designer series or green paper that they put with it, but there's a designer series paper that is like this that would be perfect for that sort of background with it. And then there is a lot of this pattern in it, and you can see they've designed this as, you know, putting a little bit of a design under it, like a banner, then the sentiment in a circle, just to kind of draw interest. And all I did on this that's different than normal is colored in the green. I don't know if you can see that. The green black places I colored in with a shaded spruce blends. All right, so let's go ahead and get started on some possibilities for this set. So what I did was go ahead and cut several pieces of the paper to kind of show you what is available in this set. So I colored this one with Evening Evergreen. I colored all of the black parts extra with Evening Evergreen. And then this background is white, kind of like it's just a gray day. But with this paper, I really think the green does help to make it pop. And if you put on this textured and rather pretty Evening Evergreen ribbon, and then added a sentiment, maybe above or below, and this one I kind of think below, it really adds a lot of depth to this. And then I think you'd be able to see more green. The more green you add, the more green the trees look. So that's just kind of how I would imagine using this particular pattern paper here. So let me grab the next one. I'm going to set that to the side. What did I drop? Okay, that's fine. This piece has replicated on the back. It's a wood grain, which is different, and it's just row after row after row of trees, which this can look really great on the inside of a card just to kind of add interest. You do have to kind of chop off the top of some of the trees in order to get this to any reasonably small width. But I think it just looks nice to put on the inside of a card. I do that quite a lot. And I like the way that one looks for that. It's kind of perfect. Of course, any of the other back sides, which are not shiny, would also look great with that. This one has silver and silver snowflakes. Ooh, I don't know if you can see that. But what I wanted to show you on this one, I wanted to try to use a little bit of masking, kind of, and using my ink pad to kind of color it in. So I'm going to need to go off the page a little bit. So I'm starting up here on the edge just to add a little bit of blue. So my thinking on this is a very gray paper, which a lot of the times in the winter it's gray. But if you've purchased a paper share and gray is not your thing, then I think it's perfect to add a little bit of just any color, and it will help it look a lot better. So I'm not wanting to get this just perfect in here because I don't want to create a solid behind here. I want it to look a little bit natural. So I'm just kind of trying to put this on as I can. And then if you're worried that you're going to get it on places that you don't want it within the stamp, you can always use a piece of paper of some kind just to block yourself. So like right here, I want to be sure I don't get any on this side, so I could maybe, let's do this over here. I could, whoopsie, go along this edge here with it, so I don't get it up into the actual leaves and branches. I'm doing that. Okay, then I'm just doing the same thing on on each side. Add a little bit of color in there. Same thing over here. And then, oh, may have gotten a little bit carried away right there. Okay, let's see here. All right, so then I would, if it were me planning this card, I would then mount it on a piece of pool party cardstock. Then I would probably add some striped ribbon, you know, somewhere here. And then I would probably add, just a second, there we go, the wishing you a Merry Christmas to kind of give it a little more focus. But it's hard to decide where to put it because you do want to let your pretty trees shine. So you could put it down here or you could scoot it up here. There's a lot of choices. And then I would probably just add some basic rhinestone gems, just kind of randomly because they look silver, and just kind of add them randomly across the page here. So that's another choice. And let's see. One thing I do like about these papers is that they definitely allow you to make some cards quickly. And as we get closer to Christmas, it becomes more and more of an issue for you. You know, you're like, oh no, they need to go out tomorrow to faraway places. They need to go the next day to slightly closer, and on and on and on. So this one I think would look really pretty if you, it has snowflakes all over it. So if you used one of our snowflakes, the wonderful snowflakes, to just kind of add some interest, and then maybe just a white ribbon and kind of bring out the white in it. And then add your wishing you a Merry Christmas to just kind of focus, and then put maybe the snowflake back here in the corner. It would also look great if you added red ribbon, because that would really get your attention to the spot where the red ribbon is. So I think you can see here that there's a ton of choices of things that you could do with it. Now I want to just show you, there is one of the sheets in this paper has a ton of little log cabins. Has an A-frame, and then it almost looks like this is the same cabin, and it's like a front and back kind of look. But you could certainly use this on the page just like it is, and add the ribbon like I had mentioned earlier, and add your wishing you a Merry Christmas, and that would be super cute and cozy. But I also wanted to imagine if we used this particular paper, because to me this just looks very homey, and then you could add this cabin cut out with a circle. Now there's different ways the pattern is repeats. Here you can see it has the fence in it, and in this one it doesn't, but it's the same cabin picture. So you kind of have to make a choice on that. But what you can also do is take your blends and color these guys. So I was just going to real quick work on some kind of quick coloring and ways to sort of add to this little cabin. So the first thing I'm going to do is color the windows, and I don't think it's really going to show because these windows are really dark. But if anything shows, I want it to look like there is a gleam of light coming from the windows. So then I chose a brown, which this is light crumb cake, And this, oh, this is too. I meant to have the dark crumb cake. Let's see how this goes with it. See if we can tell it's brown even. Oh, you can tell. Kind of do the different layers here, kind of like it's a log cabin. And then imagine some shading here and there. So what I'm doing is just going over every bit that has, that looks like it is cabin, and just adding brown. Now, if you wanted to, you could try to make it look a little more red, like for certain areas of the country where things are, where woods maybe have a red cast to them. You might add some cinnamon cider for that. Or you might add some yellow to it. So I did that, and I would definitely, let me go ahead and try to grab my cinnamon cider, because I think I have it out. And what I was thinking would be so pretty with it is to color the little fox. So let me see if I can reach it. There we are. And this is the light cinnamon cider. So I just kind of wanted to leave his little tail kind of white, maybe his underbelly. Just add a little bit of color to the fox. Do that both places. Leave some area of white. And if I have any problems, I always have my color lifter. Mine's about running out. I need to just about get a new one, but I might can get a little bit of the color off here. I think I got it. Here we are. Just kind of take a little bit of the color off. If I get it outside of the lines or anything, this is so useful when you're using your blends. It is called a color lifter, and it's super nice for kind of correcting any mistakes that you might have. And then here I'm using the dark shaded spruce. And what I'm trying to do is just add color to the parts that look dark. So like I'm not just coloring over the entire area that looks like tree, because a lot of the tree has white on it. So we don't want to color the white part green. Just kind of dab and daub and kind of give it a little pull. And it's harder to do with this one. You may even want to try your Stampin' markers, because you could use that fine point tip and get it even smaller here. Just to add a little more color and a little more pop, keeping a color on the back of this circle with the shaded spruce would probably look really fresh and nice as well. Okay, so that was just a quick attempt there, not anything fancy, but you can see that that makes the cabin look a little bit cozier and a little bit less dreary than it looks when it's just all solid gray. So I like adding a little bit of color to the fox, color to the cabin, and then color to the trees. So just something to consider as you're working up using this paper. One other thing that I wanted to show you is just this, what sometimes you might have some extra pieces. And I think I had mentioned that earlier, that one, let me grab it real quick, is a 6x6 piece. So you can use these for making some kind of a little winter scene. Perhaps put your deer in the scene, the peaceful deer. Something like that, just like, you know, hopping through the air kind of a thing, or resting on the ground. And you could turn these into little 6x6 vignettes that's just like framed or sitting in an easel on your page. But I had several of these left over after I cut some 4x4 pieces. So you can always just use, cut it right here, and you'll have an extra piece that is nice for putting with a piece of ribbon down the side. Let's see, I've already cut one here. I might as well show you that piece. Put it like that, and put a piece of ribbon down the side, and have a circle or something over here to kind of frame your sentiment. And I think that also adds. You could put it on either side. You could put the ribbon here, and then also running this through the embossing folder is another idea. Giving this texture to match this, and it works out really well. So I hope you've seen some ideas for using your designer series paper. So I appreciate you watching and have a great evening. Bye-bye.